But let's get kind of into the nuts and the bolts of what we do. Because what's funny is the name Aflac is a very, very big name, right? Everybody has heard. Literally, if you go up to 100 people, 98 of them are going to say, yes, I've heard the name Aflac. Under 4% know what it is that we actually do. And I think of what we do as being something very, very simple. Okay, again, we take complicated subjects and we make things very simple. That's what we're good at here. And what we do is simple. Again, we're not hiring you to really just sit down with your family and friends and try to sell them stuff and cause problems in your relationships and all that kind of thing. We don't do that. We don't deal with health insurance. I think it's important for you to know this. The only reason why, I know when people leave here, they interview with other companies, because I did it. If you deal with companies that deal with health insurance, I don't care what the person or the recruiter is telling you, okay? When 2014 hits and those exchanges open, that job is going to be gone. It's the reality. So if you're looking for a short-term career, you do something like that. If you're looking for long-term, it's just not there anymore. And we don't deal with that. All we do, okay, in a nutshell, is I take people just like yourselves, whether you're purely entry level or you have experience in this type of thing, and we hire and train you to work with local businesses. That's it, okay? We work directly with businesses. In the beginning of your career, you're going to be working usually with the owner and maybe a secretary in small business. As you get a little bit more involved into your career, you're going to start to work with medium and large size companies. And all we do is we consult on benefit packages. That's it. And if you don't know it right now, every company out there offers a different benefit package, okay? And I'm going to give you just two extreme examples to kind of illustrate a point. Let's say that, let's say you right now had to go, literally needed a job, and I'm just going to use an example of like a deli hiring, right? You go to that small business, that deli has a help wanted sign, you're like, what am I going to do? I need some money coming in. I'm going to go apply for a job. Not what you want, but what you got to take, right? So you go in there and you ask, what are you going to pay me and what type of benefits are you going to give me? What type of answer do you think they're going to say to benefits? None. Yeah, you don't have to be quiet in this room. I like interaction, so just understand that. I don't take that into consideration as far as job hiring and stuff. But yeah, they're going to look at you and go, they literally say to you, are you crazy? Like we can't afford anything anymore. We don't offer benefits. 50% of companies this year don't offer benefits. That number within the next 2 years will jump up to about 80%, okay? Now let's go into a different size company. Let's take the opposite example, like a Walmart, a Staples, a Home Depot. You were to go in there and ask what type of benefits you're going to get, their answer is going to be, well, we're a big company. What we can do is we can afford to offer you, they're going to go X, Y, and Z, right? Because they can afford to do this. We don't really work with those companies that much. We work with the smaller companies. We show them ways to stay competitive with the larger companies and pay the same rates, okay? And why it's important, please understand this. You ever notice when like a Walmart moves into town hall gets like, bombarded, people complaining? Do you think it's citizens or do you think it's business owners? Business owners. Why? Because they know 30% of them aren't going to survive. And now most people logically, right, they go, well, the reason why they're not going to survive is because Walmart's going to come in with much cheaper products. While that's true, maybe not so much as far as saving 10 cents, okay? If you need a couple items, you're not going to Walmart, right? You're going to go to your local business, right, because you don't want to wait in line. Here's what happens. Picture yourself being an employee working for the small business. You want to start a family, and you now need maternity coverage. If that small business owner will not give you the coverage you need, what do? You go across the street, you go to those little trailers they set up in the parking lot while they're building the Walmart that say now hiring, and go, what type of benefits do you offer here, right? And all of a sudden, Walmart gobbles up all the employees that are working at those small businesses, and that's why we go out of business. So what we do is we work with those smaller companies, we show them ways to say, hey, look, you can have the exact same benefits, right? And literally, if I just ask you a straightforward question, if this question makes sense to you, this is what the entire career is based upon. Let's say I was to take one of you with me tomorrow. It was literally you. One of the things here that we believe wholeheartedly is as adults, we learn more by doing than we do sitting in a classroom. And that's why we are one of the most successful regions in the country, okay? And whether it's baking a cake or I don't know, making a cabinet, you're always going to learn more by doing and screwing up rather than sitting in a classroom, right? And that's why we have such a high ratio of successful agents. And what I want you to understand is this. If it's your third day, right, and it's 2 weeks from now and you're with me, I want you to picture this. We're hip to hip. We're working with a local, I don't know, heating and air conditioning company down the road. He or she owns it. There's, I don't know, just say 20 employees. We grabbed the census and we noticed there wasn't a lot of benefits getting offered. And we asked the owner, we said, sir, ma'am, why don't you provide more benefits here? What type of answer do you think a business owner is going to give you? Right, they're going to look at you and go, I didn't have a Christmas party, I didn't give out raises, I didn't get bonuses, I can't afford it, Adam. They're going to look at you so frustrated, right? And the reason why they can't afford it is because of healthcare. 20 years ago it was cheap, you provided everything. Healthcare went up, they didn't necessarily get rid of that, but they got rid of everything else to absorb the costs. So here's the kicker. Companies that can't afford benefits need supplemental benefit providers. Aflac's the #1 supplemental benefit provider in the world. Because what's going to happen is when they look at us and they can't afford it, all we're going to say is, no problem, we agree with you, and that's why we're free, okay? Because that's our service to the employer. We're 100% free service, all right? Because when a business can't afford benefits, they need a supplemental benefit provider to come in, examine that benefit package, find out where gaps are in coverage, make recommendations on how to fill those gaps, and then have those products offered directly to the employees through the employee's paycheck. When they do it that way, it doesn't matter whether you work for the deli or you work for Walmart. Now you got the exact same benefits at the exact same rates. And that's all we do. We're the #1 provider of those services. Why are we doing well? It's very simple. Do you think free is a good buzzword right now? Yeah. Not only is it a good buzzword, you imagine yourself being the only insurance person that can say that word. Because the reality of it is, we're the only service that doesn't charge the owner a dime. And it actually gets better. Why? Okay. Free is a great buzzword. Truth is, people are lazy. We're lazy, right? You have gotten oil changes in the past where they've literally given you a $10 rebate that they will not apply at the register. But if you go home and take your energy to put a stamp on an envelope, they'll give it to you. 7 out of 10 of you don't do it. Free money, right? I've done it before. Why don't we do it? Because there's work involved. Well, to the business owner, although it's free, there is work involved, right? Paperwork, stuff like that. So businesses, even though it was free in the past, used to go, I don't know, paperwork. Let me think about it, right? We go, what the heck? It's good for your employees. So how do we get them to do it? This is the key, right? How you get people to do anything is the key word called money, right? So what the government did was they created a tax code. And all that tax code says is that if you as a business offer this, dangle that carrot, not only is it free, your company's going to get a tax break to do it, okay? So what do? I work with companies that can't afford benefits, give them more, and they pay less when I leave. And who does all the work? Me. And every company's eligible. The only requirement is that they have 3 or more employees. They have 3 or more employees, they're a fit for what we do, okay? Which brings me to an interesting point here. Now is where I get to brag a little bit, and this is good for you.